Okay, first thing we need is a character to put into our game, so we're going to find an animated character. So I've just typed in character sprites free itch. Itch is a website. In fact, I'm going to go to the top link, sprites. Okay, I want free, not on sale. No, let's try that again, please. Free. And you know what? I'm going to try and be a bit more specific. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do warrior. Here we go. Let's take this one. Warrior free animation set. So these are the different movements which this character has. And I download. So I just said, it asked me to pay, and I said no thank you because it's optional. No thanks, just take me to the downloads. I'm going to click on download. Yeah. I'm going to go to my downloads, which is here. I'm going to extract it. So extract to this folder. You might want to put it into your game folder. There we go. Warrior. Cool beans. I'm now going to open up my GameMaker. And I'm going to just go to sprite sheet. No. Individual sprite. I'm going to pick one of these. Let's pick idle. Idle means standing still. I'm going to take the first one. And I'm going to drag it in to sprites. And there we have it. I've now put in, if I zoom out, my warrior idle animation. So I just simply grabbed one of them and put them in. These are all the different actions my character can have. And you'll notice it's called Warrior Idle 1, and if I go to the folder, it was Warrior Idle 1. The thing is, what it's going to do is, we want it to combine all these images together to create the animation. What we can't do is simply drag all of these and put them into sprites. It won't work. It's not the best way to do it. So what we're going to do is, if you double click on Warrior Idle 1, and you'll get this screen again. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my folder. I'm going to click on 2, hold down Control, 3, hold down Control my keyboard still, 4, hold down Control, 5, hold down Control my keyboard still, 6, and let go. I'm then going to drag these down below into here. So what it's done is added these into, just lost it. My animation down here as different frames. So there we go. I've now got my little warrior bouncing up and down. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change, if you can see at the top, frames per second to 10. And that's going to slow it right down if I hit play. I'm now just going to change this to sprite idle, the name. So I changed that to sprite idle. I'm now going to go to edit image. And we can see we've got a lot of dead space here. That's like space which isn't being used. Can you see that the head is here and then we've got all the space all around? We want to get rid of all that dead space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where it says the auto trim option. So image at the top, auto trim all frames. And there we go. All my frames, all my animation now fits the size of a box perfectly. So I'll say hit play. Remember, this is like zoomed in. Zoom out. And there we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go to layouts, reset layouts. Which is going to take me back to here again. I haven't lost anything. Look, if I go to sprites, I've got my sprite here. We're now going to do run. So to show our character running, but we can't do it the same way. We can't do it the same way because if I go to idle, you'll notice that these images are all the same height. This woman in every frame is the same height. When we're running, the character's going to be at different heights. They're going to be standing, then crouching, well, knees bent, arms moving, standing up again. So we can't do it this way. What I'm going to do instead is right click on sprites. So the folder sprites. So right click, create sprite. And I'm going to call this sprite run. So we've got idle and we now got run. The next thing I'm going to do is select import, and I'm going to find what I've just downloaded today. So it'll be in your game folder, or for me here, Warrior. Sprite sheet. And these sprite sheets basically consist of images or sprites which have different sizes and different heights. So what I'm going to do next, once I've found it, is simply put it into my work. So it looks like this. These are all the possible actions that my character can have. So we've got like falling over, we've got slashing sword. I want just run, which is this row here. This is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. So I'm going to show you step by step on how to grab just the run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit image. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to image, and you'll see where the option says convert to frames. Now your image, your sprite, can you see how my square is up there? If I just zoom in, it doesn't cover my actual sprite. So I need to put in the correct dimensions. So it's going to be, I think mine's 64. And the width is, so the height is 44. So 64 by 44. That is what we've got here at the moment. And I actually want every single frame which represents someone running. So where my mouse is, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and the one below. So I want 7 frames because it's 1. Oh, didn't mean to do that. 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 4 frame, 5, 6, and this one down here is 7. So I'm going to position this just on the first one. And how many frames do we have per row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there you go. You can now see it's highlighted all the frames I need for the running. Cool beans. I'm then going to click on convert. Yep. And I'm going to hit run. Way too quick. So we can slow that down. And also we've got a lot of dead space. That means space which we don't actually need. So let me just zoom out. And I hit run. Far too fast. So let's, on my right, I've got properties. And let's make this 10 frames per second. And that seems to be better. The final thing, I accidentally think I've drawn on here, so let me just get rid of this. Where's the eraser tool? Okay. The final thing we want to do is get rid of this dead space. So I'm going to go back to edit image. So 1 second. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to layout, reset layout, go back to my sprite, run, and edit image. There we go. Image and auto trim more frames. So now, and there we go. Looks actually pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing we want to look at is, if I go back to my sprites, let's do idle. And I'm just going to shrink this. Perfect. You'll see in the top right hand corner it says top left. We really want that to be middle center, so I'm going to click on that middle center. I'm then going to do that for be of a sprite of run. I want that also to be in middle center. I'm going to save. Done. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to objects. I'm going to right click. I'm going to create. And I'm going to create an object. This is going to be what we're going to use to control our character. I'm then going to get the sprite idle. I'm simply going to drag it where it says sprite. Just like that. Really easy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it an event. That means we're going to make it do something. So if I click on add event, step, and I'm going to click on step. I'm going to use GML code. Don't ask me again for this project. And now I'm just going to go over to the right hand side. I hate doing this on my computer because it's quite hard to navigate. So let me double click on it. Okay, so step is basically what we're going to use to help code our character. So every time we want our character to do something, this is going to be the place we do that. And we're going to say this: if keyboard check VK right. What does that mean? It basically, and I'm going to do a bracket like that. This basically is saying it's going to check to see if we have on our keyboard pressed the right arrow key. If we ever press the right arrow key on my keyboard, I want X, which is our X-axis, to go up by 3. So what do I mean by X-axis? Let me show you. This is our X-axis. This is our Y. If I say I want it to go up by 3 every time I press right arrow on the keyboard, it's going to go to here, then it'll go to here, then it'll go to here. If I say I want it to go -3, if I press the right arrow key, it'll go this way. If I say I want it to go up by 3, but Y, it'll go to there. It'll go to there. So it'll go up the screen. -Y, it'll go down the screen. So we're saying X and go this way if you press the right key on the arrow keyboard. Does that make sense? Right key, arrow keyboard? Whatever. Cool. So that's one thing. We want it to go up by 3. I now want to change our sprite. And I'm going to, if I just do that, sprite, I can't remember what I called it, which is really annoying. I think I called it sprite sprint. It might be on here. Okay, sprite run, maybe. Let me just double check because I can just bring this out. Yeah, sprite run. Semicolon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to reset the view, the layout. I'm going to go to rooms, room 1, so my level 1, which has got nothing in it. I'm going to go to my object. I'm going to drag my character into the game. I'm then going to hit run. And you can see that they're in idle mode. If I press right, we've now got them running. Cool beans. So what we're going to do is we're going to now add moving left. So I'm going to click on object. I'm going to go back to the step code. And now we're going to do this. If I click right, we move right. Else, that means otherwise. If keyboard check VK left, we want X not to go up by 3, but this time down by 3, -3. And we still want it to run, but we're going to run -3. This is going to look slightly weird. So if I run it now, right, left. So we're kind of like doing the moonwalk. But before we fix that, if you're not pressing left or right, so for anything else, what we're going to do is change the sprite to become the idle one, which is where we're standing still. So if we run it now, I'm going to move right. I'm not going to press anything now. Goes back to idle. I'm going to press left. Goes back to idle. Now we're going to stop the moonwalk. I'm going to put this thing in image underscore X scale. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically flip our sprite. So, don't want to do that. So that sprite will be facing the other direction. So watch. We're moving right. Stop. We're moving left. It basically flips it. Moving right. But now we've got to flip it back the other way. How would we do that? See if you can do that yourself. How can we, if we're moving right, make sure that we're flipped the correct way? You got it. Image X scale equals 1 instead of -1. So going right, going left, going right again, going left again.